All right, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Thursday, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me just make sure you guys can hear me all loud and clear. Happy NFP Day, we should say. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Let me just move some screens around. Audio and video good. Awesome. Thank you, man. And you guys here on YouTube are new, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. Mainly been trading gold here for the past 7 years, focusing on the European session. So stay live with you guys for at least the next hour. We'll break down gold. Gold's on a lovely run here this morning. We'll break down NQ, and we'll have a look at some all other markets here today as well. Today's the big NFP day, guys. And the Friday of the week. The Friday of the week because the markets are closed tomorrow. That's the reason I'm on the combines here today, guys. I'm not going to be trading the funded accounts today. Same as yesterday, we'll be trading the combines. Let me just bring this up a little bit. Hey, Coach Hoop, good to see you in the chat. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, guys. Let me zoom this in a bit. Gold ended up having a lovely run yesterday, guys. Gold had a lovely run yesterday. This was our buy zone. I ended up taking another 30 ticks here yesterday in the New York session. Before then, you came back down and then came all the way up into yesterday's high. That was what we were talking about yesterday, which ended up being a really nice move. There were some great buys yesterday in the New York session. This was our buy zone. I took a little bit of it here. You came back down, and you ended up having the really big move. So we'll see what we get for today, guys. Remember, there is a lot of news today. It's basically the Friday of the week. We do have NFP today as well. So it's going to be a very volatile day in the markets, guys. Very volatile day. That's the reason I just have these. I just have the combines fired up here. Same as what we were doing yesterday. You know, I don't usually trade on days leading up to NFP, but thought, you know, we'll still jump on. We'll still share some analysis with you guys. See what we have for the day. NQ did have a lovely closure yesterday, which was very good for the stocks. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. So yes, a long weekend, which maybe we should be excited about a long weekend, but as traders, we like to trade. We don't like the long weekends. Yeah, it could be a busy day. Yeah, it could be an interesting day. Could be an interesting day. London leading up to NFP. From what I have seen, you can leave a lot of ungrabbed highs. So we know that, you know, gold loves to come up and liquidate highs, grab lows before the real push. You grab the lows, then you have the push, you grab the highs, you pull back. From what I have seen on gold, before big NFP days, you know, you can leave a lot of highs, and they can take all the way until the news, and then you have the big pushes through. We'll break down all other markets here as well today, guys. We'll do some top down on gold. We'll recap some of the pushes that we saw yesterday on gold, because there were some amazing buys in the New York session. London did end up having a nice push as well, guys. Remember we were saying on our stream yesterday in London, we were waiting for price to get back above this zone. It took until about 10 a.m. But once you closed back above at 10 a.m., 10:30, you had a lovely pullback here. You had a lovely 100-tick buy. Got no sound today. You guys on Zoom, everyone else got it all good? I do? Yeah, I'm not too sure, man. Not too sure. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's, again, you know, this was the power of patience yesterday, the power of letting the markets come to you. So what we were saying yesterday is, you know, this could be a potential liquidity grab to break out. However, all I really wanted to see yesterday was just a breakout back above this level. And if you just sat on your hands and waited for that breakout, buying this, you know, up into these highs here, which we spoke about yesterday, gave you like 83 ticks. One contract, an $800 trade, which is absolutely worth the wait. All good. Cool. So let's do some top-down analysis here for the day, guys. We got London open in about 20 minutes as well. Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you, man. Got long after 4-hour grab lows, closed above. Closed 123 ticks. Wow, beautiful, Sean. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, I actually just watched that before. I wasn't trading Asians today. But I saw this hourly fake out here. Here's probably a similar place. Yeah, hourly fake out. And it was actually a really nice buy. There was a nice buy on gold. Yeah, that's 6 a.m. Is that how much that is? Yeah, wow, 100 ticks, yeah. Because here you broke above, you broke back below. Where did you tap into? Tagged the previous hourly lows, which you guys can see on the currency chart here. That's what I had here. Tagged the hourly lows, then had a huge push. That was a really nice pre-London buy there. Nice trade, man. Even on the combine, it's a great trade. Really, really good trade. What do you think about the 6J, the yen? We can have a look at the yen. Let's do some top-down analysis here on gold, guys, before we get this London Open. We ended up closing bullish yesterday on gold. Remember, I was saying to you guys, if the daily candle flips bullish, where are we going to very likely come into? Yesterday's high. That was an easy target yesterday once that daily actually started to break back above. You know, when the past 2 days have been so bullish, it makes the most sense to be following that. Which in the New York session, if you took the flip of the daily candle, which is from when the candle goes from being bearish to being bullish, the flip of the body, up into yesterday's high, was a 205 tick trade, which was a very, very good trade. Now, the interesting thing here on gold is we are right around, let me just clean up some of these levels here for a second, guys. This is yesterday's levels. So you can see we're right back around a major, let's get rid of this. This was our Monday level. We're right back around very, very, very big weekly resistance with NFP coming up today as well. So we have non-farm payroll today, guys, at 1:30 London time. The interesting thing on gold is we have been non-stop bullish this week. So what we're trying to understand here on gold is this going to be a turnaround? Or are we going to continue squeezing higher? Or is gold going to start to come for a bit of a pullback? To me, we're at a big make or break level, but I can't ignore the fact that the current weekly candle, given it's the final trading day of the week, is very strong. Very, very strong. You know, we held that beautiful support at 32.50. Reflipped back bullish, and you're breaking back above some major, major, major levels. So the current weekly is very strong. However, you know, anything can happen on NFP. Anything can turn around. The thing is, we are at major, major weekly resistance. So for me to take new trades with where gold is right now, I would find it hard to want to buy gold this high. Unless we can, we can get a reason on the intraday time frame to, it doesn't mean we can't scalp some longs, but I'm just saying, as an overall outlook leading up to NFP, gold is at very big weekly resistance. And this is also big monthly resistance as well. Remember, we're only, 3 days into the month, and this monthly candle has opened and just instantly pushed up. To me, I don't believe, obviously we don't know, but I would be very surprised that this would be enough of a monthly bottom wick. I would imagine this monthly at any point could flip back and come down for a steeper retracement. So weekly resistance, major monthly resistance, and no real bottom wick on this monthly candle. Dropping down to the daily now. Obviously, we have been bullish since the open on Monday, and Monday we came down, grab lows, held 32.50, and we've had a huge push. So there's a fine line between, this is big weekly and daily resistance, but we can't ignore that we have been bullish. We don't want to all of a sudden just, be so focused on sells and, necessarily trying to call tops. I think on a day like today, we could be much more, let's get rid of these, we could be much more neutral. The daily's been bullish. We do have NFP today. We are at major weekly resistance. So let's kind of drop down to lower time frame and be much more reactive today. Today's not the day to be so fixated on a certain bias, guys. Today's the day to be very reactive and trade what's right in front of us. And what's right in front of us is weekly resistance, and also the daily is looking pretty strong. The interesting thing here on gold is you've already came up and you've tagged yesterday's high and are instantly rejecting. So you have big support here, big resistance here. So we're trapped a little bit on gold for now. You can kind of see 4 hour time frame here as well, guys. See, I look at this, and to me, this looks good for a big short. Maybe not a big short, but I kind of look at this and I go, okay, cool. Well, let's say if gold's going to have, not that I believe it will, but let's say, for argument's sake, gold could have a huge push up into 34.50. I would look at this and I'd go, okay, cool. If you're going to see a big push up on gold, would you do it from here? I personally don't believe so. I think if you're going to see a big push on gold, there's a high chance you would need to come back for a deeper retracement of this big move up since Monday. And there's also nothing to say that this weekly couldn't hold this resistance and end up just coming down and having, you know, an even bigger sell-off. So I would say in a situation of gold going higher or gold going lower, this would be a pretty logical area that in any case, we would very likely need to tap into here. So even if we're going to break lower, then we're going to get a big short, a mega short. And even if we're going to have a squeeze higher, I believe this would be a nice retracement zone. So in either situation, to me, this looks like a good area. Therefore, can we look for shorts on gold to come back down into this zone? Yeah, possibly. Let's just stick on a little fib here. Let's say if gold is going to have another leg higher. You're kind of around that 50%. I personally do believe, not that it matters what I believe leading up to NFP, but I have a suspicion gold could have a bit of a sell-off. And we could see NQ go higher as well. So exposing ourselves to the fact that in either situation, this is a nice area that can get tapped. Therefore, we can stay pretty neutral. And we can expose ourselves to, you know, even if you were to trade the pullback, you know, whether gold has a huge rollover or not, who cares? You know, we're just looking for our trade. And even to play the range from here to here is a 400 tick range. That's a very, very worthwhile range. Now, that's just an overall outlook. We're just trying to understand what's the high time frame doing. So when we drop down to the lower time frame, at least we have a better understanding of what's going on. Like I always say to you guys, you know, if you open your charts and you go straight to the 5 minute and you're trying to pick direction off that time frame, you're going to struggle. The higher time frame always has to paint the picture. The lower time frame is purely for execution. So current 4 hour here on gold, you know, we do have this nice zone down here, but that's pretty far away. I think a big move like that would take until NFP, but just as a overall outlook, previous 4 hour grabbed highs, closed bearish, closed right back bullish, now coming back into resistance. So we can say, well, we have resistance being formed here, which if we look left, does that make sense? Well, it does, yeah. We've got nice support. You broke below, broke right back above. Nice support, really nice support, resistance. So we can comfortably say that this is a pretty strong level here. So we've got big resistance here, and we quite clearly have some big support here as well, which you can see. Let's just bring it down a little bit to these highs here. This resistance, this support, nice support, big support, so on, so on, so on. Let's bring it up a little bit just to them highs. So how big is this range today? This is a 60 tick range, not bad. Hourly time frame here on gold. There was a nice fake out here this morning. 4 a.m. here, you closed bearish, tagged the lows, held support, closed bullish at 5 a.m., confirming the fake out, and then had a nice squeeze at, a very nice squeeze at 6 a.m. So with gold back at the resistance, back at the support, we may 30-minute forming an evening star. I wouldn't be too against if we break out looking for a short, even back down to 33.50 for the London session. You kind of have a nice trend line coming up here as well, guys. What do we know that gold loves to do around these trend lines? Loves to come and manipulate these more. Anyone who's buying from this trend line, setting some stops down just below, gold loves to have these trend lines squeezed. Kind of like here yesterday. We had this nice trend line coming down like this. Gold loves to come and squeeze the trend line. Stop out any, you know, early sellers here and any early buyers here. So there's a potential for potential shorts today here on gold in the London session. We'll probably wait for the London Open, but you guys can kind of see how we're kind of piecing the pie together. We're slowly working our way down and trying to digest this a little bit. Yeah, we'll have a look at other markets as well, guys. We've got London Open in about 12 minutes. 11 minutes, I should say. Now, let's see how gold's going to react around this resistance. So we're going to reclose back above and come and target is that the Asia Open? Yes. So we've got could we come up and retarget current daily highs? Or are we going to start breaking back below and come down and squeeze some of these Asia lows and some of the trend line? London Open is going to be the big decider here for gold. So let's stay patient for that London Open. 15-minute did just come up, grab some highs, held resistance, having a little bit of a pullback. But if you're going to get short on gold, you don't want to get stuck right in the middle of the range. So we've got time here on gold, guys. We'll wait till the London Open. What do I think about 6J? Yeah, we'll have a look at yen, and then we'll have a look at NQ as well. Copper dumped. Okay, let's have a look. Let's get rid of all of this. When was this from? This was from last week. There's our levels from last week. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of this. How did yesterday close? Now I do still like the longs on the yen. I like longs on the yen. Remember we said yesterday that we're coming down and tagging previous day lows, coming into a big support level. I like the yen to come up and squeeze these highs. To me, buys on the yen look pretty nice. Again, remember, it's the last day of the week, NFP day as well. Let's have a look here. How's the 4 hour? Because you have this very nice double top here. Very similar to gold. You have these lows. What does price do? Comes down, tags the lows, and then has the push. So it loves to do the same thing as gold. So what do we have here? We have some highs. We've come close to the highs. So what could we very likely do? Very likely come up and squeeze these highs. Above here, who knows? But that will be a nice target. Now where could you get long here? It's looking pretty bearish intraday. You know, you've had a nice sell-off here in Asia, so you wouldn't want to be buying for no reason. Could you be coming for a little bit of a pullback? Come down and test these lows from yesterday. Where have we gone? Where's my chart gone? Come down and tag the lows of yesterday before, seeing that squeeze into the highs. I mean, with the 4 hour closing bearish and having a decent sell-off in Asia, yeah, I would say so. I would say if the yen can start to break out a little bit, you could have a nice short down into these lows here. So let's keep an eye on the yen as well. Have a look at NQ, guys. Oh wait, let me just have a quick look at copper. You guys are saying copper's dumped. Let's have a look. Yeah, nice little sell-off here. Nice little sell-off. Where are we? Let's see. How did we close yesterday on copper? Do you break back above the range? Yeah, you did. Wow, look at that. Very strong. A very strong closure yesterday on copper. Broke back above. Where are we? 5 point. Where is this resistance here? Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. So you had a huge breakout yesterday. To us, I was expecting copper to maybe have a little bit of a squeeze of some lows. Especially after you wicked these highs and held the resistance, I was like, oh, maybe they can come have a bit of a pullback. However, you had a very, very strong closure here. Gold trying to break back above here as well, guys. This London candle is going to be very interesting. Let me just get the hourly on this chart here. A little bit doji. Strong closure yesterday on copper. Could you be looking for a daily fake out? Maybe. There's a lot of lows down here. Yeah, I know, yeah. It's always the way I hate that. I hate the word ripping or dumping. I'm like, is it really? It's a nice little sell-off. It's a decent. It is going to be a. Let's see if we get a nice closure here in 6 minutes. If you do close bearish, then yeah, you could be looking for some sells on copper. Come down and fill this range. But this is kind of this is the first indication of bearish volume, and this is the first confirmation of a breakout. So let's see if you can actually hold below on copper, and then see if you could potentially short into London. Let's have a look at NQ. NQ did have a nice squeeze of the lows again, which I don't. Did you get grabbed? Did they get grabbed on ES? Where are we? Let's get rid of this. Now look at that. ES holds the daily lows. ES holds the daily lows. Why? Because NQ's grabbed them. See here on NQ, we spoke about. ES, we spoke about this weekly opening price for price to come down into. Well, if NQ has done that, then ES doesn't need to. So if you see here, this was the same open here. NQ came down, tagged these lows, grabbed the lows again yesterday, and then had a huge push. To me, NQ to come to new all-time highs looks very nice. We're actually having a pretty decent push already. So weekly re-breaking higher. Let's drop down to the lower time frame here in NQ. I'm assuming you had a nice squeeze in Asia. Wow, look at that yesterday, guys. Wow. I didn't trade New York yesterday on NQ. Probably missed out. That was a huge, look at that. Came down, tagged the lows, and just bam, monster move. So could you see NQ coming back up to these highs here? The 30th, was that Monday? Yeah, Monday's highs up here. Yeah, I would say so. Especially if you're going to get a decent sell-off on gold as well with NFP. You could see NQ squeeze high. You have potential 15-minute fake out coming on gold. Now, what could you see on NQ for London? Well, it looks pretty choppy. It's going to be choppy leading up to NFP. Not going to buy. Nah, not going to buy, man. No, not. Dubai's not really my scene personally. I mean, I've never been, but I'm not really into what I would imagine Dubai looks like. I'm more into like nature and greenery, and I'm not really into hot deserts and a big city personally. I like for trading. I need a clearer peace of mind. I'll take you for a business trip. Yeah, all right, done deal. I wouldn't mind going for a visit, but yeah, I mean, I've never been, so I can't say, but I just don't think it's somewhere I would consider myself living personally. I want a house at nature, just peace and quiet, the charts and stream with you guys, and that's all I need. So he had a nice little grab here at 6:30 London time. Came down, squeezed his lows, held this VWAP here, trying to catch a bounce here. Longs on NQ could be nice today. Longs on NQ could be nice. We're getting a really nice squeeze here on gold as well, guys. We may have some 15-minute fake out buys here. We'll come back to NQ in a second. We're about to get that London open. You can see here you broke back below the support. You've grabbed the lows and broken right back above. So there is the potential for price to come up and fill these highs here. So we could have some buys on gold soon, guys. We've got London open in about 3 minutes. I am just gonna be trading my combines today here, guys. You moved to New Zealand? Yeah, that's the dream one day, man. That's the dream one day. I can relate, yeah. Maybe it's just me getting older, I don't know. It's either a mix of me getting older, or I think that's what trading does to you. Like, I'm not really into like a crazy busy life. I want nice and peace and quiet, surrounded by nature, and just be. I don't know what the word is. Let's see this 15 close on gold here. We may have some longs. That 30 minutes looking very nice. 30 minute came down, tagged the previous 30 lows, and it's looking like we're going to close bullish. We want to see this actually close bullish though. So you came down, grabbed the lows, and let's see if you can actually hold above and see if you can get a push into here. How big is this range? This is about a 60 tick range, which I would just trade in one contract. You got nice valid stops. Any closure back below this level would be a pretty good exit as well. So if you're looking to get a bottom wick on the next 30, you're risking somewhere around here. You got potential 2.5. Hopefully it doesn't just rip. We got 2 minutes here, guys. Owlie's trying to get back above as well. Owlie's not really strong, but we're still breaking out. But we have been breaking out since 5 a.m. Yeah, tranquility. That's the word. That's a great word. That's the word of the day. That is word of the day right there. Tranquility. I'm gonna go say it to my girlfriend when I go home. I'm looking for tranquility. She's gonna be very impressed with me. Refers to the peace and quiet, free from disturbance or commotion. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's what we're searching for. Searching for tranquility. Great word. Yeah, that's what I like the sound of. Let me just turn this down a little bit. So we've got 1 minute here, guys. London open in 1 minute. Gold's looking to have a really nice breakout here. I'm going to see if we can get some longs here on Goldie in a second. I want to see this Audi closure, though. I'm not going to chase it just yet. If you can pull back, you have a little inverse head and shoulders play. And you have the highs all the way up here as well. So here, you have a nice little left shoulder, little head. Potential will come down for a right shoulder. And then you can see if you get these longs. Tranquility and liquidity is all you need. That's all we need. Liquidity in the markets and tranquility in life. That's the recipe for a good trading career. How do you find liquidity purely based off swings or something else? I mean, there's a few different ways to see liquidity. It can be in the form of a trend line. It can be in the form of double tops and double bottoms like this right now. The reason this is a liquidity level because if gold's going to have a true move down, it loves to come up and grab the highs. Gold loves to trap people off. Same as yesterday on gold. Why did I have these? Where's our liquidity levels gone from yesterday? Why did I have... Let me just go here. How long we got? We got London open here, guys. I'll share in a second. Let me see if we can get some longs here. I'll share the secrets in a second. If we get a nice bottom wick here on gold, guys, doesn't have to come this low. Maybe even back down to here. I'll look for some longs. Look for some longs from somewhere around here to see if we continue squeezing this higher. Let's see. Until gold creates that bottom wick, yeah. So I'll show you the levels that we spoke about yesterday. So this was these were our downside levels here. And then from here, where was the next levels here? Now, why did we mark on these levels? This high here is because if gold's going to have a true move down, gold loves to come up and liquidate previous highs before having the real move. So lots of people jump in shorts here. Where do they sit their stops? Just above. So that's the reason, because price hadn't grabbed these highs. Even here, sorry, when it did on the currency, but here, when you came back close to it again, then there's a very high chance you're going to grab these highs. Because that's what gold loves to do. Gold loves, but if gold's going to have a true move up or down, it loves to come and grab previous highs or lows before having that move. So what do? We have the lows, come down, grab the lows, you rip higher. Come down, grab the lows, push higher. Grab the highs, pull back. So same thing here. If we're going to have a decent pullback on gold, I believe there's a high chance we're going to squeeze these highs first. And you're just trying to understand levels that price hasn't grabbed. So on Monday as well, there was a huge buy on gold on Monday, based off the exact same thing. What did you do before the move? What did we do? We came down, grabbed the lows, stopped out any early buys, and then had the move. That's again here, 4 hour came down, tagged the previous lows on a lower time frame, and then had the move. Tag the lows, real move. That's just how gold get a nice bottom wick here. That's just what gold loves to do. Gold loves to liquidate previous highs or lows before having the real move. So you're just trying to understand levels that price hasn't grabbed before looking to take your trade. And it happens on NQ, it happens on gold, it happens on most markets these days. Potential buys below this 5-minute low here, guys. If you grab the lows and re-break the highs, I'm going to look for a long. What would that be from the flip? About 50 ticks. One contract, about 500. Let's see, is it grabbing on the currency? Let me just see. Let me just double check. Not quite, not quite. Yeah, because what gold loves to, gold does it almost every time. Comes up, grabs through its highs, and then has the real move. So all you're trying to do is just identify the levels that it hasn't grabbed, and then rather than waiting for these highs to grab and then trying to go short, I prefer to expose myself to longs up into them levels. I'm trying to identify these levels and buy into them, as opposed to I used to wait for these levels to be grabbed and then trying to go short. But personally, now my favorite trade is actually trading into these levels. Identifying these levels and trading into them. So if you can get good at identifying the levels, then you can get some very nice trades. Currency did just is about to tag the 5-minute lows. Let's see what happens below these lows here. See if we get a rejection from these lows. It's a pretty steep rejection here. Maybe just setting a little low on the currency just in case it does get grabbed. Let me go back to the 15 here. How'd that hourly close? Yeah, still nice and strong. Still nice and strong. 30-minute, nice and strong. 50-minute grab lows, nice and strong. If you really want it from the flip, you can. You don't have to wait for the 5-minute to be grabbed. I'm just trying to refine because it is NFP day. Can you explain how the combines work and what buffers you need to pass, even though I won't pass one? Oh, you can't shut yourself down that quick. You absolutely have a fair chance to pass one. But in terms of what you need to pass, it depends on what count size you're trading. For me here, trading these 100Ks, I need 6,000 to pass. For the 50Ks, 3,000. For me personally, on the combines, let's say I'm using a 50K for example, I personally don't like to lose more than like 500 a time. That's like max. How do you make that green red box? If you mean this, this is just a risk to reward tool. Gold coming down, grabbing the lows here, guys. Potential buys on the flip of the 15. This is just a risk to reward tool, so I'm kind of saying, like, if I'm looking for longs, this part here is like my entry, and this part here is my stop loss. And if I'm looking to target these highs, this 3.42 is kind of what my risk to reward be. So I'm risking 1 to make 3.42. I like to go for a minimum of like 1.5 to 1 to 2. If I had my stop like all the way down here, and this is less than a 1-to-1, as in I'm, let's say, risking 100 and only making 88, then it's not worth it. If we see some rejections from down here on gold, guys, there's potential for buys. I'm not going to try and catch the lows just yet. This is a pretty steep rejection. How's the 4 hour here in the currency? Yeah, 4 hour still looking good. How's the 4 hour in the futures? 4 hour in the futures isn't the best. I mean, it's still got 3 hours till it's going to close, but we have to keep in the back of mind we are still at big resistance. Potential buys if we break this high here, guys. This 15 can flip bullish and drive. There's the potential long here. If the 15 closes bearish, then we'll be careful. Do you trade New York session? Yes, sometimes, man. If I don't get a trade in London and Asia, yep, sometimes I'll trade New York. Yesterday I traded New York. Where did we trade New York yesterday? Where was our New York trade yesterday? Where are we? On the 5 minute. We took buys yesterday in the New York session. I took some longs around here. But then he came back down, grabbed the lows one time, then a huge push into yesterday's high. That was my buy target yesterday. Decent sell off here, guys. First 7 minutes of the London Open here. Yeah, NQ, let's have a look. 3 AM for me. Wow, late night grind. Nice. You staying up purely just for these streams. Hourly close bullish on NQ, came down, grabbed the lows, closed bullish, continued pushing at 7. Yeah, I think you could see some more buys on NQ. I do like potential spikes lower before then seeing that push. Again, though, it's kind of tough before NFP because anything can happen. But I kind of look at this and I go, I would imagine you'd get a pretty steep liquidity wick of this here. That's what we love to do. Price loves to come down, have these steep liquidity wicks, stop everyone out before then having the push. But in terms of London, you may squeeze a little bit more. I live in the US and trade the New York session. Nice. What hours and how long would you recommend trading for in the mornings? Depends on how much time you've got, to be honest. With gold, you don't really need to sit there and watch. You don't need to watch it all day long. I think around like 2 till 4 a.m. London time is good. So like around yesterday, that was around like, again, sometimes pre-New York can be good. Sometimes New York Open could be good. So yesterday, my buys, if you're trading in the US time zone, my buys yesterday on gold were at 8 a.m. New York time. But then there was more buys on gold at 11 a.m. But with gold, you kind of just watching higher time frame closures where you don't have to actually sit there and watch it for hours and hours and hours. So here was my buys yesterday, right at that 8:15. You had more buys closer to 11. I think where was the previous day? Yeah, see here 8 a.m. had a nice push, bigger move again, came closer to 10. I would be focusing on like at least 30-minute closures. Gold grabbing highs and trying to get back low. Hey guys, no longs just yet. Let's not get trapped here. But yeah, I sometimes trade New York, and we do pre-New York market calls every day. I'll trade New York if there's something shaping up, like a day like today, NFP. I won't trade New York. Sometimes I'll still probably watch the news. I won't actively trade a non-farm payroll. I would trade after it, but by my time here in Australia, that's you're talking like 1 to 2 a.m. if not later into the night. Trying to squeeze back low here, guys. You got gold having a bit of a pullback. I would assume you got NQ squeezing higher as well. Yeah, NQ having a nice breakout. I mean, if you do close, you just grab those and close bullish, you could see NQ continue squeezing even in London back up into this range here. What's that? Not bad. Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. Gold's one of them where it's not really like, you know, you just can sit down specifically in a certain time and watch it and be guaranteed moves. It's more so, it's just, if I was watching it, you know, I'd wake up first thing in the morning, look at the higher time frames, set my alerts, see if something's shaping up, and kind of monitor on the go. That's what I kind of do if I trade New York. Like if I trade New York and I'm not, you know, when I'm not sat here with you guys, I'm watching the 30 minutes. So yesterday when I took my buys from here, it's because I had alerts set down here. So as soon as my alerts went off, I wasn't on the charts, but as soon as my alerts go off, I go, okay, cool. It's in my potential buy zone. Let me fire up and see if I can take it. And then I'll scout my trade. And this here yesterday was like, you know, it was a very decent move, like 100 ticks. That's like 5 minutes or something. Alerts are my absolute lifesaver. Whenever I'm not on stream with you guys, I always set alerts. You'll see in my trading view, every morning I'll jump on my trading view and I'll have like, you know, 2-3 alerts going off. I have alerts set for everything. Just kind of saves you not having to sit there and watch it all the time. How long do you trade London? I'll start watching London around like 6 a.m. 6 a.m. I'll start watching London. But again, you know, that's just me watching like 30-minute closures, for example. I don't sit here and watch the 5-minute from 6 a.m. till, you know, 11 a.m. London time. The higher time frame closures on gold are really key for me. So if I can see the 30 and I can, like for instance, right now, this 30 is grabbing highs and closing bearish. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, may as well just come back in 17 minutes and see how this 30-minute closes. Yeah, possible, but yeah, we might not. We might not. That's what gold does love to do before NFP. I've been trapped on gold so many times trying to trade into liquidity before NFP. It doesn't get grabbed, it gets stopped, and it comes all the way at NFP. It can happen, man. Yeah, if we don't grab these highs, that could be a nice target before having a big sell-off. What's the condition of your alert? Just an area that I've established that I think is of interest. Yeah, of course, it's non-farm payroll, so it's payroll for the whole entire US other than the farming industry. So, for instance, yesterday, it's major news. You want to be careful of trading NFP. So yesterday, where was my alerts? Where did I have my alerts yesterday? I think I just deleted it. So my alerts are at levels that I think something is interesting. So yesterday, my alerts were when price closed above here, we're back down here, because this to me was a nice level to form this inverse head and shoulders before buying into yesterday's high. So this spike here triggered my alerts because this is a potential buy zone, and then I scalped this from here to here. So I just set it at levels that I think are of interest. Another alert that I had yesterday was after we jumped off, we stayed on Zoom for a little bit longer. What I said to the guys is, you know, I'm interested on gold if we can break out here. So I'm like, let me just set an alert above here. If I set an alert above here, then it goes off, then I know price is breaking out, and now I can jump on and potentially look to take a trade. So it's just just any areas that you think are of interest. You know, you can set it, you know, above a previous hourly high or low as a potential liquidity trade. You know, for instance, right now, if I want gold to pull back down to this level before going long, then I can maybe just set an alert here, and once it goes off, then I can jump on the charts and see if there's anything worth taking. I honestly I never don't have alerts on my charts. Other than a day like today where it's NFP, there's nothing, you know, that I'm really going to miss. I always have alerts, always. I never leave this session and don't set alerts. I set my alerts on TradingView. Yeah, fingers crossed. Now that Top Step are going to be focusing purely on Top Step X, that we'll hopefully add alerts to the Top Step X platform. But yeah, I do all my alerts on TradingView. Yeah, the fake out looked nice. It was worth a shot. It was definitely worth a shot. That's a good trade. If you did take that, that's a great trade. It's a good loss. Could have squeezed up. The only thing is, I was kind of looking at this like, it's not the best of risk reward, but it was absolutely worth a shot. I think if you take that in normal times, you'll have a great trade. Not very often do you see it break below, break above, then break right back below. So good, yeah, good loss. Not really, Joe, to be honest, man. Sometimes maybe on like a personal. Not too often. But to be honest, when I'm setting my alerts, it's after the London session where, you know, London into New York, it's coming up to my like 6 until like 10 p.m. I'm usually at home anyway. I don't really like taking trades on my phone. I mean, if you've already done your analysis beforehand, it's not the end of the world. If you know what you're looking for, I don't recommend people to try and draw any sort of analysis on their phone. But if you're trading a higher time frame, 30-minute and higher, and you're on the go, your alert's just gone if you want to quickly fire a position. Yeah, no, if you can get home soon and check on it, yeah, you can. If you already know what you're looking for, I don't do it too often. Sometimes on my personal, I'm more like if I'm swing trading my personal, if price gets into a level, yeah, I'll just go on my phone, I'll take it, and I'll just, kind of go about my day. But for my intraday trades, not too often. But it depends, if you set it out to be, more of a day trade than a scalp, like you're holding it for, 30 minutes to a few hours, then, that's fine. NQ failed to close above here, guys. Grabbing the highs, grabbing the lows, kind of stuck in a little bit of range. You may see the next first 30 minutes of the London session here. Gold ended up grabbing the highs and closing right back below, so it looks like you may get a strong fake out here on gold. If you maybe pull back, you can short down into these lows. If you can see a good risk to reward. Maybe you come down and fill this range. How big would this range be? 27 ticks. Not the best, not the worst. Yeah, the only tricky thing with gold right now is, although, yeah, obviously it's NFP, but look at this 4-hour time frame. Bullish, bearish, bullish, currently bearish, right at resistance. So NFP or not, it's a very big make or break area. Very, very big make or break area. Same as the daily. Huge daily resistance, huge daily support. Yesterday's candle could be one big fake out. And if you can pull back here, there's the the potential to squeeze down these lows. If you could get a good risk to reward, be a very small combine scalp. 28 into the lows and then potentially 50 to fill the range. But yeah, it's a big NFP today, guys. Then obviously no stream tomorrow with 4th of July. Unfortunately, we have a long weekend. ES is 5 points off all-time highs. Really? Wow, let's have a look. First time here. Thank you, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Wanted to stay up and catch the stream. I appreciate you tuning in, man. Pleasure to have you here. What time is that? Must be pretty late, right? Late night grind. Nice. Love to see it. Yeah, wow. ES very close to all-time highs. Very, very close to all-time highs. NQ printed the all-time highs on Monday. I do think you'll squeeze them again. And to be honest, I look at this higher time frame on NQ. The weekly's flipping bullish now. The monthly's also come down for a very steep bottom wick. No, not very steep bottom wick, but a decent bottom wick now and starting to re-break the highs. Gold having a decent sell-off here, guys. Looks like that was a potential pre-London trap there. The reason I didn't jump in is because I was waiting to see how we would react around these lows. If I'm going to buy gold, I'm not buying gold at resistance. I'll try and buy gold from a bounce out of here. Because if I try and buy from here, then I'm buying resistance. If I want to buy gold, I want to do it with a good risk reward, and that would be down here. However, once you did get down here, you just broke it and kept pushing, therefore no longs. Because that would be my targets. This here would be my target. So if I buy from here, the risk reward is not the best. So I wanted to see how we would react once we grabbed the lows. But what we did is we did grab the lows, but we actually closed bearish. Therefore, no longs just yet. How does gold move on holiday? Sometimes it actually... I'd say more times than not, it does actually move pretty well. I don't really trade it. The kind of a lot of the times, even on normal US bank holidays, London can still have great moves. But it's one of them. It's like if you try and trade, let's say 4th of July in the London session, and it does go choppy, you're going to kick yourself because you shouldn't really be trading during them days. So even if it does have a good move tomorrow in the London session, I personally still won't trade it because I know if I do trade it and it doesn't work out, I'm going to kick myself. So I personally just stopped trying to trade bank holidays. But you can see great moves on gold in the London session. I've seen it plenty of times and I go, damn, I should have traded, but I'm like, no, don't even waste the mental energy trying to trade it. Thanks, stream. Yeah, nice one, Lance. Appreciate you tuning in, man. 3 a.m. late night grind. Appreciate you tuning in. True, the New York session. Yeah, I will be watching NFP today. That's for sure. It's 5:20 p.m. here for me. 5:20 p.m. on a Thursday evening. I did post a YouTube video yesterday, well, guys, about the Top Step announcement of just having Top Step X moving forward. So you're currently tapping into previous lows here. We do have some very nice highs here for NFP now. Let's see if we actually get back above. 30-minute here. Grabbing highs, closing back bearish. What do you look for and how do you define your risk? Good question, man. Good question. The key thing I look for is liquidity targets. My risk and my stops are based off candle closures against me. So let's say, for example, I didn't, but let's say I bought off this level and my hard stop was here and I'm looking to buy up into this liquidity level. The second that this price closes back below my level, that's my exit. So my stops are, my risk and stops are based off candle closures against me. I have hard stops here, to keep me safe as a worst case scenario, but I use a lot of mental stops. The second that my trade becomes invalid, I'm exiting my trade, which is typically based off a closure against me. So here, closure against me, that's my exit. Why? Because so many times I would see my trades pretty much do exactly this, where it would close against me, it would retest my entry, and then stop me out full. And the amount of times I'd actually go back and look, it's like, this right here is literally the market's telling me that I'm wrong, and it's my opportunity to get out. But most of the time, people can't accept being wrong and they hold on to a losing trade and then blow their accounts. I personally would look back at a lot of my losing trades and I was surprised at the amount of times that if I had just tried to trade from the neutral perspective, the amount of times the markets actually gave me an opportunity to admit that I was wrong and get out early was crazy. So now my risk is based off these closures against me. You can say to yourself, oh, well, what if it's a fake out? What if it closes back above? Well, we're not here to trade off what if. If that happens, then I'll go right back in. Don't worry about what might happen. Worry about what's right in front of us. So when people, actively manage trades and they close it and then it closes back in their favor, they go, oh, damn, I knew I should have held that trade. But we're trying to do what works over a long period of time. And we're trying to trade very neutrally. I finally learned how to lock my account after $250 loss now. That's amazing, man. No more revenge trading for me. And thankfully, I'm using the MLL lockout feature on Top Step X. Yeah, that's amazing, man. The lockout feature on Top Step X is incredible. I honestly say I recommend to all of you guys, if you get your first funded account, the first thing you should do when you get your first funded account is set your daily loss limits. It's the first thing you should do. Doesn't matter how much, it all depends on how much risk, what your risk appetite is personally. For you it could be 250. For someone it could be 500. For someone else it could be 1,000. There's no right or wrong answer. But yeah, that's amazing to hear, man. Set your personal daily loss limits. As soon as they hit, you're out. And that's what I said in my YouTube video I posted yesterday. That's why I believe that Top Step has the great stats of people passing quicker and people getting payouts quicker and people getting more payouts. Is because the risk management features built into Top Step X and the lockout features are an absolute game changer. I even said, like, if I had the ability to put my personal capital here and have daily loss limits, man, I would have saved so many more accounts in the earlier days, that's for sure. Yeah, 100%. Lost 2 funded accounts for not using that feature. Yeah, it's so easy to do, man. And if you find that like anything over, let's say $500 usually sends you on tilt and nothing ever usually good comes from that, then you can go, okay, cool. 500 is my max loss limit. If I lose that much, I'm done. Not profit targets. Can you set it for profit targets? No. Oh, yes you can. Yes you can. Ignore me. Yes you can. You can set personal daily profit targets and daily loss limits, and you can also set max number of trades, which is great. If you find that you go, you know, anytime I take more than 10 trades, I'm usually blowing up. I'm usually going on tilt. Okay, cool. Set yourself 5. You can even lock out certain symbols as well. Like if you lose on gold, then you start going to tilt on NQ, then you can lock it out there. Yeah, so you can set personal daily profit targets, which is amazing as well. So if you hit a profit target, cool, you're done. I don't like to use profit targets because I kind of take what the market gives me. But the daily loss limits, absolutely. And you set your action where it liquidates you, it liquidates and blocks you as well. There we go. You can also set up brackets here as well, guys. Anytime you enter a position, it automatically has your TP and stop loss in as well. So we got a 30-minute closure coming up here on gold, guys. We're trying to grab these lows and break out here. I'm trying to see if we can break out from after grabbing these lows for a potential long. Yeah, now should we? Yeah, yep. I'm kind of looking for, you know, so we have come down and we have grabbed these lows, which is great, but I would need to see a little bit of a breakout. If we break out after grabbing these lows here, then yeah, there's the potential for longs. There is the potential for longs. But again, this is why you guys on YouTube can't see, but you guys on Zoom can see I'm watching the 5-minute, but I'm also watching the 30-minute. And is a 5-minute bullish closure enough to buy? Well, look at the 30. It's looking pretty heavy. This is why I recommend you guys just to try and watch both if you can. If not, you know, only drop down to the 5 once the 30 minutes confirmed. That's why you guys on YouTube, you can't see, but I have other screens where I can watch the higher time frame on a complete naked chart, just so I can make sure I'm not getting too zoomed into that 5-minute. And you know, the 5-minute here, this is the last 5 of the 30-minute candle. So if this 5 closes bearish, then I know my 30-minute from where it opened here, is currently looking something like this. Without even needing to look at it, it's currently looking something like this. That's not the best of drawings. There you go. That's a bit better. Is the open of the 30-minute came up. So to try and buy that just yet, to me, is a little bit too risky. You'd want to see this 5 close bullish, and then the 30 would look more so something like this. And then you go, oh, cool. Well, now we're finding some nice support. You have a nice liquidity grab, then you can potentially look for longs. But as long as this holds below here, that 30 to me is still looking very bearish. So even here, when this 5-minute closed bullish, here, that 30-minute candle is still looking pretty bearish to me. So I wouldn't want to be trading against that just yet. Custom market after go break even. Yeah, nice. Aiden. Yeah, I like that, man. I like that. See, the more this 5-minute pushes down, this is the last 5 of the 30, the more likely you're going to get a very strong bearish 30-minute closure here. So if anything, you may be selling gold. If you close back below this area here, there's potential for shorts. If you got NQ squeezing higher as well, let's have a look. Let me see. Can you have more than one chart open on Top Step? Yes, you can. You can have 7 if you want. If you have a big screen and you want 7, you can have 7. Can you have any more than 7? Yes, you can. You can have 8. However many you want. You got them right here. Yeah, you can, yeah. I sometimes have it usually split like this. So you can have, let's say, you could have the 30-minute here. You might make this a little bit smaller because you know kind of can see it. Then you might have, let's say, the 5-minute here. I have 2 screens, so I prefer to keep it separate. But yeah, you can absolutely. How often do you get closure against, then run in your favor? Less times than stopping me out full. That's the reason I do the management. But what also happens is, if I close my trade early here and then it closes back above, for me personally, I don't care. I get right back in. Whereas most people will cut their trade here, they'll watch it reclose back in their favor, and be too busy, annoyed at this loss to just get straight back in. For instance, for me here, let's say if I bought gold here, and it closed right back below, and I got out here straight away. The second that it closes back above and my trade becomes valid, I get right back in. Whereas most people can't emotionally get back in their trade. I'm okay with giving my trade a second chance. It's not very often, but when it does happen, I go, that's fine. I just get right back in. Whereas people get way too emotional and then can't actually get back into a trade. The amount of times I see people take a loss and it ends up doing exactly what they want, but they didn't get back in. The markets aren't perfect, nor are we. It's not always going to give you the perfect bounce and the perfect breakout and the perfect trade. So for me, if it does close against me, I'll get out. Once it, becomes valid again, I'll get right back in. I'll give my trade sometimes, 2 to 3 chances if I have to. It's not very often, but it does happen. Absolutely. The power of keeping my losses small means I have enough room to give my trades a second chance for the day. That's the good thing about keeping my losses small and cutting my losers quick. Is because once it becomes valid again, I haven't taken a full loss, so I still have a decent amount of profit to play with for the day. Of drawdown, I should say. It doesn't happen often, but yeah, it absolutely does happen. More so times when you're ranging. Let's say here, for example, let's say if I tried to take this breakout here, the second this candle closed back below, I'll get out straight away. Well, the second you close right back above, I'll get right back in. And then you make back the small loss, and it hits your original direction, and you're happy. What you don't want to do is, most people see their trade going against them, they don't cut it, and then they start hoping that it's going to reclose back above. Well, anytime you feel hopeful in a trade, you shouldn't be in the position. There's no hope in trading. There is what's right in front of me and what's happening. But yeah, it absolutely does happen. Yep, absolutely. Again, that's why I keep my charts clean, because I like to focus on pure price action, because that's what gold loves to do. Gold loves to bounce off just very, very nice levels. Now we're having a decent bounce here, guys. The reason I'm not getting short is because this is a potential level. If we start closing back above, there's a potential to buy up into this level where people are trying to short. Aaron, I've been watching you for the last 6 months before I had low confidence in my strategy, but you told me to stop thinking and try it out for 1 month. I'm requesting a payout for $5,000 today. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That's what we love to hear. From tuning into these free live streams, that's absolutely fantastic, man. Good job. Taking out $5,000 is incredible. It's beautiful work, man. Keep up that consistency. And reward yourself something with that $5,000, man. Taking a $5,000 payout is incredible. Amazing. Well, you ended the week off very, very strong. Beautiful work, man. Beautiful work. That's what we love to hear. On a Friday with NFP day as well, man, you take that payout and treat yourself. That's why I always say to you guys, if you do get that first payout, go buy yourself something physical. Reward yourself with something physical so you can see that this game is actually real. Otherwise, it just becomes a game. You try to build up too big of a buffer and then you lose everything. Take that payout, go buy yourself something physical. And, we're always so hard to beat ourselves up on trying to get better and better. But sometimes you got to reward yourself for improving. So I think the level at 3366 is good for liquidity levels. Yeah, physical gold. Go buy yourself some gold bars. Trade gold, get payouts, buy more gold. You can't lose. 3363, 3366, 3366. I don't watch MGC. If it is different, if MGC is different to GC, I would just focus on the GC. If we close back above here, guys, it's not bad longs here. Not bad longs. Let's see. This is the range that we don't want to trade in. But if we start breaking back above, got nice highs up here. Want to be careful in this range though. Is pre-NFP as well, guys. We should have a lot of value here. Source, trust me, bro. Do you trade silver? I do not. We can have a look at silver though. I personally don't trade silver. We can absolutely break it down. We can break down any markets you guys want me to look at. Wow, we look at this. When did we look at silver last? I can't remember when we spoke about silver. Monday, I believe we spoke about silver. Spoke about this as a liquidity level. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. So this was our liquidity target on silver. Same thing as gold. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Why was this our liquidity level? We said people are probably short in here where they sit in their stops just above. So a decent, lovely push on silver. I don't trade silver. This is a very, very nice push. But when was this? From 7 AM yesterday, came down, grabbed lows, held support, and a very nice breakout here. And you guys take that long? That's a lovely, lovely breakout. Coming up to a big head and shoulders here as well. You guys will have to go back and, I believe it was Monday. I'd go back and watch when we broke down silver on Monday. Where would you have bought here today? I mean, you would have had to be on early, but 6 AM maybe. Not this high. You wouldn't be buying this high. But from down here, you know, maybe. I don't know if I would have taken that. Here, absolutely. Yesterday, that was great buys off this support yesterday. That was our liquidity level. And what's going to be interesting on silver now, with NFP coming up as well, you broke above 36. Are you going to close back above 37? This should be, oh, it is. That should be 37. Or are you going to hold this potential head and shoulders? To me, on the higher time frame, silver's looking very strong. You had a huge breakout of 36. You came back down for a nice bottom wick here in July. Last month's high could be a nice target. But no, I personally don't trade silver, but that's a very nice push. That's a very, very nice push. Goldie kind of in a little bit of a range here, guys. Goldie in a little bit of a range. What time is it? 2 seconds, guys. Grabbing previous 15 highs, support, resistance. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. The Russell. We had a great call on Russell this week. Good old Russell had a lovely move this week. Probably one of the nicest moves that we have seen this week. Remember you guys who were tuning in on Tuesday. Any of you guys who were here on Tuesday spoke about the Russell to come up and liquidate this trend line. You did it beautifully. Broke this trend line, held this resistance, and you've continued absolutely ripping since. Should probably start trading the Russell. That was an incredible move. Came down, tagged the day lows, held this resistance. Look how nice that price action is. That's beautiful. Tagged lows, breakout, super simple. Really, really, really nice. In terms of new trades on Russell, though, the new trades on Russell were down here on Monday. I'd be wary of this area pre-NFP. Let me just have a look at the 15 here on gold. Kind of chopping. Well, to be honest, where copper is, I wouldn't mind seeing potential buys on copper. Because the daily's closed bullish. You look at this daily and you go, okay, cool, you've broken out, you've held this. You know, yesterday's high, you could easily be buying up into yesterday's high. And at least, you know, you're following that trend. You're following this trend that we've been breaking out since the end of June. You've been having a really nice breakout, holding it, and there's no reason why you can't continue to see this squeezing higher. So for longs on copper, I mean, it's not bad from here, to be honest. This 30-minute broke below the support, broke right back above. What do you have into the highs? Is it worthwhile? How big is this range? 43, not bad. It'd be hard to get a valid stop. I'd say maybe if you close back below here, could be a good exit. You're trying to see if you can squeeze the daily highs. Yeah, yesterday's high looked nice on copper. Gold trying to break back lower after grabbing previous 15 highs. I'm not really just interested in trying to short gold personally. I don't have any downside targets. Remember, it's NFP today. NFP day as well, guys. Don't go too crazy today. You can see since we jumped on gold, we've been bullish, bearish, doji, grabbing highs, trying to squeeze back lower. New here, welcome. If you don't mind me asking, when you draw your rectangles, are they top and bottom specific levels, or just a rough estimate? When I draw my rectangles, you mean? Oh, like where did I just have one? Oh, wow, copper having a lovely squeeze. Look at that, copper. So copper's probably the setup here of the London session. Look at that, came down, tagged lows, breaking out lovely. Wow, look at that on copper. When I do my zones, if this is what you're referring to, like this for example. Yeah, it's just a rough. I'm just trying to, if I'm drawing it like this, I'm just trying to look at these wicks. I'm looking here, and I want to incorporate as many of these as I can. Then I'm kind of just do it to the lows. And I'll be like, okay, cool. That's a nice support level. Same as if I'm doing one on, let's say, gold right now. Don't be too worried about having the perfect resistance level or the perfect resistance line. There's no, it's not really about being perfect. It's about just understanding a big area of where we're actually at. So that's why it's kind of tough here to draw a big zone on gold right now, because there's a lot of noise. So it doesn't really matter how you draw it. I might draw my resistance line here. Guys might have it a little bit lower. There's no right or wrong answer to it, to be honest. It's just being aware of whether I draw my resistance here or I draw it here. It doesn't really matter. We just keep in the back of our minds that we are at big high time frame resistance. So I'm just kind of just visualizing it for you guys to show that we are at these big levels. For me personally, when I'm trading here, on my own, sometimes I could just trade a naked chart, or I could just use like one of these lines. But yeah, just a rough area. It doesn't have to be like, I always used to be so focused on having like the perfect line and exactly matching it up with someone else. But now I'm like, it doesn't really matter. You could have it here, you could have it here, you could have it here. It doesn't really matter too much. If you're looking for the breakout, if this grabs highs and closes bearish, well, that is the breakout. Whether you have it here or here, that's a decent candle. You guys on YouTube, drop a like for the Top Step stream as well. We've had a great week here in the markets. Remember, it's a short week today. Short week this week, guys. There'll be no stream tomorrow with 4th of July, but we'll be absolutely back next week as well. So you just tagged the highs here, closed bearish. If it wasn't NFP, this is a nice liquidity continuation play. If you had some targets, there's your liquidity grab, there's your breakout. See if you're going to break the support or not. 15 trying to get back. That should be, let me just fix this. 33.50. There. Which is not bad pullback level on gold. Look at that 4 hour currency. Looking super messy. How's the 4 hour here on the futures? Yeah, look at that 4 hour, guys. A lot of chop today, guys. Completely expected. If it wasn't NFP, I would look to short this lower. Maybe come back down into these areas. Come up and grab some of this trend line a little bit more. Squeeze out any early buys. But with it being NFP, I'm not going to get too eager. Unless you get like an instant huge top wick and I can take a half risk sell. We'll see. So how's that 15 to close? So 15 just tagged the previous 50-minute highs. Closed bearish. Couldn't quite break the support. But I think if anyone's buying here, probably sit some stops down below that low. So you can probably squeeze that a little bit. Did NQ end up breaking higher? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, nice. NQ did break higher. Grab the lows, broke out. Not bad long on NQ to fill that range. Let's have a look at copper. Wow, Copper having a lovely, lovely squeeze here. Copper's probably, surprisingly, for a change, probably play of the morning. Play of the morning. The risk reward, green and red rectangles. How do you activate that on Top Step platform? Mine doesn't work. It's just it doesn't do anything unless I click buy or sell. So if I was, let's say if I was, let's just go down to, let's have a look. I'll just show you. Let's go to 1 micro here for a second. Let's say if I was getting short here on gold, and I was sitting my stop above here and playing it down, well, I would still have to, you know, take the sell and then drag it to that part. And I'll be like, okay, cool, that's my risk. And then that would be my reward. Let's get out of that for $2. And that example just cost me $4. So if you have a PayPal or something. But yeah, no, it's just a visual representation of, you know, what your risk reward could look like. It doesn't activate anything. You just, you know, you still put in your sell, and then, you know, you drag up your stop. They go, there's your stop, and then you drag your TP, and you go, there's my take profit. 1.6 risk reward. This is just a visual representation of what you may be in. I took $4 there just for you. So yeah, take more trades again. I don't really use the View app much, to be honest. I just have it on my charts just to kind of see where we're at. I don't use it as any confluence for any trades, to be honest. I mean, you can kind of see it does react pretty well. It kind of reacts pretty well, but it's not something, you know, you'd want to just trade off the View app. It's kind of like, you know, you would align it with all of your other different confluences. I've kind of always just kept it here. I just like having it on here. I don't really take any trading decisions off it, to be honest. Sometimes I just like to see where it's at. Kind of, let's say if I'm shorting and it's coming, you know, we're coming back up into this breakout resistance, and you got the View app there as well. You could be like, okay, it's 2 confluence to probably maybe manage that short. It's not something I personally would actually take trades off on gold. I think it does work much better on NQ. NQ slowly trying to creep up here, guys. Not the cleanest since where we jumped on since 7 a.m. You've been up, down, up. Gold's squeezing a little bit lower here as well. Any early buyers getting squeezed out here? How big is this of a little scalp off this level? 54 ticks, look at that, very nice. First sign of volume here on gold. Wait, what? I've watched this guy for the past 3 days. He's lost money every day. I mean, that's completely not true and a bit of a random thing to make up. You guys can go back and watch the streams. What a random thing to make up. It's good on Mikey. You can literally go back and watch it. Because I took my $4 loss, is that it? I took my $4 loss. Yeah. Yeah, literally, mate, yeah. Yeah, literally, yeah. No, I'm just not trading. I have 500 accounts here on Top Step. I'm just not trading. I'm not trading funded accounts pre NFP, pre 4th of July. Just same as yesterday. I was just trading coal mines yesterday. No funded accounts for me closer to get to NFP. What are your thoughts on fair value gaps? Are they useful in GCs? It's not something I use, man. It's to me, it always just. I mean, I've never really looked into it, but it's just another way of saying, you know, like it's just something else to think about. Most of the time, it ends up just, you know, lightening up the support and resistance. But if it's, you know, each tool is just a visual way of how you perceive the markets. If that helps you, perceive the markets in that way, then great. You know, there's no it does or doesn't work. Do whatever works for you. Personally, it's not something I use. It's not something I find necessary. To be honest, trading NFP, you'd have to wait until you get much closer. Depends if you liquidate these highs or not. If you don't grab these highs before it, then yeah, you could be seeing some squeezes on NFP. That'd be close to when we jump on the pre-New York call. It depends on, like, sometimes pre-NFP you can come up and, like, say if you tag the highs, but then it could be completely different. But if you don't grab the highs, then NFP could grab them. All depends on how you are much close to it. But to say right now, it's a little bit too early to be honest. Especially like the higher time frame on here, it's like I wouldn't even want to even try and call it. What the dog doing? The dog is the dog's at home chilling. The dog's at home chilling. He's out for a big run today. But yeah, that's the thing, you know, of like fair value gaps or, you know, SMC or order blocks, like whatever helps you perceive the markets in a certain way that helps you, great. Like someone could use an order block that I could maybe use as a liquidity level, and it's like, if we have the same analysis and, you know, that's how you like to perceive it, there's no, you know, there's no right or wrong way to trade. People love to shut down different strategies, but, you know, who am I to say that this or this doesn't work? It's like, whatever works for you, whatever helps you perceive the markets, and whatever helps you consistently make money, fantastic. Trying to have a little bit of a squeeze here, guys. Nothing really too exciting here on gold. Why are you trading Combine? I guess Mr. Trader blew his XFA. I blew all of them, man. Every single one's gone. You got me. You got me. But yeah, gold is chopping a little bit. Let's have enough of that. Pretty boring now. Gold here in the 4 hour, guys. Currency kind of wicking. Futures very choppy here, guys. Very, very choppy. Yeah, there you go. Nice one, Bruno. There you go. You will never get a profitable trader coming into a free YouTube stream and pretending like I lost every day this week. Like what a crazy thing to make up. Yeah, time out. Yeah, he deserves it. He had the rights to come here and learn something here this morning, and you lost it. Maybe he bought gold. Maybe he bought gold here and put his stops just here. Just got squeezed out. You gotta love it. Yeah, literally, yeah. So yeah, gold. The reason I'm not jumping in these golds, that's true. I am down $4 to be fair. He does have a point. If that's not getting exposed, I don't know what is. I am down $4. The reason I'm not jumping in these shorts here, guys, is you kind of grabbing the highs, grabbing the lows. You're at big support, big resistance. Yeah, 424. Let's not make things up here. Yeah, stop lying. It's not $4. It's actually $4.24. The reason I'm not jumping in shorts here, guys, is if you look at where we're at, like this is a big level. Gold's a very, very tough area. If you drag this across, look how big this area is. At any point, you can wick this and keep breaking higher. So if I'm going to get a trade here on gold, to be honest, buys back above here and buying into this liquidity level, to me, looks the nicest. What do I think about selling copper? I don't like selling copper. I would imagine... anyone who is shorting copper here, sitting some stops just above. So personally, I like copper buys. Copper buys up into this level make the most sense to me. I wouldn't get too trapped on shorts here. You know, yesterday closed bullish. 4 hour tapping into previous 4 hour lows, holding this major resistance, seeing if you can squeeze high. Remember, it's NFP. But I would say copper to continue squeezing. I think a lot of people are getting trapped in shorts too early on copper. That's what copper loves to do. Same as gold. You try jumping the shorts too early here, comes up, squeezes the highs, and then you might pull back. I think if copper was going to have a decent pullback, you would likely tag these highs first before then pulling back. But to be honest, I think you'll tag these highs and keep squeezing. Let's have a quick look at gold. Goldie. Just move this here, trying to squeeze lower. Let's have a look at NQ. Remember, guys, NFP day today as well. We'll be back next week as well. NQ breaking lower. Look at this, guys. Lots of chop on NQ. Goldie on the high time frame doesn't look very pleasing either. So with that being said, guys, there's no trades for me here in London. I wasn't expecting to take any trades pre-NFP, but I thought it was still good to jump on and catch up with you guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in. It's been a great week in the markets. Hope you guys did enjoy today's stream. I remember, guys, there'll be no stream tomorrow, but we'll be back first thing on Monday morning. So trade safe with NFP, guys. Don't blow your accounts like me here, losing $424. Protect that $424. And I'll see you guys same time again on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. Have a good, happy 4th of July to you American folks. And I'll see you guys next week. Cheers, guys.